Hello everyone and welcome back to Shook in Time. Today's video is going to be different because I want to talk about my experiences with Chinese watches and why I think they make sense. I know this subject will be fairly emotive for some people, but what I want to do today is give you my thoughts on what I believe Chinese watches offer other than just a low price point. I'm going to bucket my thoughts into categories and use specific watches to explain where I think the value proposition sits. Now, before everyone starts jumping up and down about price, that will be discussed in the video, but towards the end. However, before we get started, can I ask that you hit the like and subscribe buttons? It really helps to support the channel and keeps the content coming. So thank you for your support. So let's talk about what Chinese brands offer to me as a watch collector. They help me explore my watch collecting curiosity, whether it's dial colors, case sizes, movements, and overall design. Chinese brands have helped me shape what I like and don't like about watches, and have influenced some of my more expensive purchases recently. So let's start with the category that seems to be all the rage at the moment, the vintage homage. Running a quick Google search for the definition of homage versus replica seems to indicate the line is drawn when you copy another brand's design elements and use their logo rather than your own with a clear intent to deceive. A good example would be modern-day Rolex replicas. Now, when you use your own brand logo and take inspiration from others for design, then you fall into the homage category. I know this is a simplistic view, but to me a homage watch honors the design language of another and does not intend to replicate or deceive. Thorn with the T023 has taken the Tudor vintage diver route, and Watchdives has gone the Rolex route with the originally named WD5513. These watches have gathered a bit of a cult following on Reddit and other watch forums, and you can probably see why. These watches capture the true essence of the homage game by dipping into the back catalogue of big brands and giving us watch enthusiasts that vintage feeling with modern build quality. These watches are not only affordable around and below $200, but they are also quality timepieces. Now, I won't be deep diving on the details of each of these watches here, but please feel free to check out the in-depth reviews on my channel. The next category of watches I want to talk about are the modern homages. This is where things start to get interesting, and that line between homage and replica begins to blur for some people. The Martin SN008 range of watches highlights this perfectly. It is clear this watch is heavily inspired by the modern-day Tudor Black Bay 58, and Martin don't try to hide that fact. There are obvious differences here to the trained eye, but for most people this feels and looks like a Tudor from a distance of say 10 feet. My reason for this purchase was to see if I liked the design philosophy enough to actually buy a Tudor Black Bay 58. I'm a pretty boring kind of person and I tend to not like gold accents on watches. What this San Martin has done is help me scratch an itch for less than $200 and help me understand that I actually do like subtle gold accents on watches without spending $4K on a Tudor to find that out. Now, do I really still need that Tudor? Honestly, I'm not sure, but it is on my big brand shopping list along with the updated Longines Spirit. Here is a clear example of how a well-built modern-day homage from China has helped me plan for my next big watch purchase. When it comes to affordable field watches, my go-to brand is Militado. I think Militado have got that below $100 price bracket nailed with their Mecha Quartz powered field watches. They produce Gata watches on a budget and are a great way to start a watch collecting journey or just to give to your kids as a starting point for their three-hand addiction. You can clearly see the heavy inspiration and borderline copying of Hamilton designs. Does that mean someone like me won't buy a Hamilton again? No, in fact, just the opposite. I've just bought the Khaki Field Power Reserve after struggling to hand it back after a recent review. Both Militado and Hamilton have a place in my watch box, and I would urge anyone who likes a good field watch to give Militado a closer look. So are Chinese watches just clones of bigger well-known Swiss brands? The answer to this is not straightforward, But there are some brands and designs out there that are really testing the boundaries. I give to you the Sugess S423, a watch that I've recently reviewed on my channel. This is one of those watches that has lifted the design details from a blank pan and added a seagull chrono movement to good effect. The execution is excellent, but I know that this is the exact kind of watch that starts to make some people uncomfortable. Now, I purchased this watch solely for review. I wanted to have a Sugess on the channel with that beautiful seagull movement. But is this one going to be a keeper? The answer is no, it'll be leaving my collection soon. And another watch brand that is notorious for blurring the homage and clone boundary is IXDAO with their Engineer and IPOSE 5303 models. Beautifully crafted timepieces, but they create a conflict in some collectors' minds. Now, I'm not here to judge, that is for lawyers in a courtroom, and there is clearly a market for these watches. Ultimately, this is down to you as a buyer to decide what level of inspiration works for you. Chinese brands like Baltany and San Martin are leading the way when it comes to adding a touch of originality to their product offerings. For me, this is a good thing because we are seeing these companies adding their own design ethos to familiar case shapes. I have recently reviewed 2 Baltany watches on my channel. Both have been frankly amazing and have managed to add some flair to my watch box with their unique dial executions. Baltany are giving us watch enthusiasts a chance to experience high-end design at affordable prices. This has to be a good thing. These watches will be staying with me for a while because they each have a character that appeals to me as a collector. In future, I hope to feature more unique and original pieces out of China for the channel. Time to move on to the big one, value for money. This is where Chinese watches are encroaching on other well-known, attainable brands such as Seiko and Citizen. It is often the case that you can buy a Chinese branded watch with an NH movement at a higher spec and finish for almost half the cost of a Seiko 5 these days. What we need to understand is that consumers will always seek out the best value proposition to fit their wallet, and the surge of Chinese watches is a good thing because the competition forces brands like Seiko and Citizen to up their game as well. Moving on to final thoughts. Chinese watches have helped to make my watch collecting journey more interesting, better informed, and most importantly, taught an old watch snob like me that what you pay for a watch does not equate to how much you enjoy it. I do not think this is a case of having to pick one or the other. This is not a binary choice. Watch collecting is a long game of experimentation that keeps things interesting. Do I think my Seiko DressKx at $300 is better than my Thorn T023 at $150? The answer is who cares, as long as you're happy picking one each morning. My Hamilton Power Reserve is 10 times the price of the Militado. Both put a smile on my face for different reasons, and I know which one I won't hesitate to wear when doing garden work or washing the car. Every watch has its own place and utility in my collection, and when the time comes to let one go, so be it. Now, if you're interested in more detailed reviews of these watches, please check out the link to my playlist posted now. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. So that's it for today, folks. Thanks for your support, and until next time, keep on ticking.